Good evening and welcome to the Trading the Tech Show. My name is Derek and this is iLi Academy. Today is Thursday, January 7th. So it's fairly a decent day, I would say, in the market for us trading wise. Was a little bit slow, but it was okay because I got to get out and enjoy a beer on the beach while I watched over our positions from my phone. So it's always good to be able to do that. Now, it's you can add your MT4 onto your phone, and there's a lot of can't actually um, run the auto trader from your phone. You can't do it that way, but if the auto trader is running at home, then you can monitor your positions through your telephone and actually make you know or add stop losses prior to you can do that as well. It's flexible and especially the auto traders is to allow you to have some time to be home and not sitting in front of your screen, all hours of the day and night trying to watch over your positions. So that's just one of the benefits of it. And ILI stands for income location independent. So I want to live that lifestyle. I'm not going to just tell you about it. I'm actually living that lifestyle too. So, and trying to create a lifestyle that's based strictly on income that's derived from different, income sources that can be portable and can go with you pretty much to any country that you want to take it to. So it's a fun journey for me. I'm enjoying the journey. I'm enjoying the challenges that I face. I'm enjoying the ability to see it work and work very well sometimes. Days like today actually just make me very happy because I feel like I made the right decision with my life, even though I sacrificed a lot and gave up a lot to have this life. I did the right thing. So very, very happy with that. So we're going to go through our pairs tonight. We're going to see what type of opportunities have presented themselves after the moves today. We know that the Dow was up, I think, 211 points today to a new high. We did get some movement in the market. So we're going to take a look and see what we have as far as trade opportunities. Now, as far as the Aussie CAD, we're just going to start from the top and work to the bottom. As far as the Aussie CAD, we have the rate now trading down here. It actually pulled below our 200 for just a little bit. Everything's above our 720. We can see that. So we're bullish here. Now, we don't have a mature trend to the upside. The trend has broken down. So that will happen as we start to pull back. So we've pulled back here past the 200. So I'd be dropping an order here on this 100 or the 50, which are converging in the same spot right around the 98.52 area. That would be my buy currently. My buy order would be placed there. So let's move on to my Aussie yen. Aussie yen, kind of the same thing, except for the trend has not broken down. It's still a clear, mature trend going on here. We're waiting on pullbacks of the rate past our 50 and past our 100 to be able to drop it on the next higher level. We're well above our 720, which we can see. So I may not say that every time because I want you guys to start looking for that as soon as the chart comes up. Start looking for where your 720 is because that's going to start telling you direction, right? And so here on our Aussie New Zealand, we have our 720 here. All of our moving averages are above the 720. The rate is above the 720 as well, but it's definitely consolidating and trading right across this line here. Matter of fact, our high barely changed for the last little bit more of a low that kind of broke out, but we're trading in this particular range and we really haven't left it. The range is actually even tightened a bit. If you look here, pretty much here is the tightening of the range that we're in. It's at that level right around this 106.86 area. It's tightened right up. So we're just trading off to the right here. I've always talked about the market only doing three things. It only goes up, down, and sideways. Right now, this one's going sideways. We're not really interested because we want to see some separation here between the moving averages. Now, Aussie US, we're trading above our 720. Our trend has broken down a bit here, but we did trade down almost to the 200 here. So that gave us room to place our order here on the 50 or the 100. Both of them reside right now around the 77.62 area. CAD yen, we've got full mature trend to the upside. This is a beautiful trend. If we look at how this has set up and the distance that we got between the moving averages started to widen out. We're above our 720. Everything's in order to the up, getting sustained movement to the upside. So we're just waiting now on a pullback because at some point the move is going to exhaust. We don't have a crystal ball to tell us when, but we just wait on that to see when it occurs. And then we'll be buyers here at our 50 or at our 100 mark. As far as the Swiss yen, we are bullish here because we're above our 720. Everything's above the 720. We're getting a pullback now. Tested this high, a little bit higher than yesterday's high, but we tested this high today twice. Here's the high, then we got the high again, and then we traded away from it because we didn't break the high here. So we, the previous high we didn't break, so we started to trade back the opposite kind of breakout bounce in the opposite direction. So we can do breakout bounce from the bottom and from the top. Now, the rate here is well below our 100 moving average, which is sitting here right now in the 117.23 area. But it's not quite reached the 200 yet. It's about halfway to the 200. If we wanted to drop our order here on the 100, we could, or we could be conservative and drop it here on the 50 and make it move just a few more pips, another 5 pips before we're actually entered into the order. All right, so that's the opportunity there. Euro Aussie, we're trading well below our 720. We've got full mature trend to the downside. We don't have a lot of width here just yet, but it may be just a young trend. What I see here is we created a low here and then we kind of bounced. We did bounce and we came back around. We didn't break the low and we started to trade to the upside. Now we're coming down here and we're testing again. So if we don't break this low, the previous low that we set, if we don't break that here, we may trade off to the upside, which means that we're probably going to get our opportunity to drop our orders because the rate should go beyond the 50 and the 100 here in yellow. Now, if we look here, yesterday we got the same exact thing. We got that bounce off of the low, and then the rate actually traded past our 100. So we could have dropped our order on this 100, our sell order, and we would have had a nice trade. Even if we dropped it on the 50, we've still had a nice profitable trade here. And it didn't take that long for it to go profitable, profitable. So it's going to take a little bit of patience to do that, and wait on some of these trades, but there's plenty of opportunities that will come around for you. That's why I like this strategy. So we're looking at the Euro CAD right now. The Euro CAD is trading below its 720 right now. The moving averages are all in a mature trend. We're waiting for the pullback. Once we see that occur, then we can take short sale orders. Euro Swiss, we see that we're trading above our 720. Our 200 actually finally jumped over the 200. Over the 720. And so now we got side here. So we're going to wait till the momentum wanes a little bit, drops down below our 50, maybe to our 100, and then drop orders in there to buy. The Euro Swiss, though, it's kind of interesting. It's a pair that I don't play around with it when it's profitable. I don't let it go back negative no matter how small the profit is, just because it's going to take off on you at some point. You try not to get that one to take off on you because it'll take off and go the wrong way. It's very volatile that way. It kind of just bounces around a lot. So, I'm very cautious with the Euro Swiss. Here's the Euro Pound. The Euro Pound, we're not interested in trading. Our 720 is coming right here through the middle. You can just barely see it. It's right here where the rate is at currently. And then the moving averages are just in a very, very tight space. So we're consolidating off to the right here. I'm not interested in trading that or trying to make heads or tails of what's going to happen there. I need this to open up and separate for me before I'm interested. As far as the Euro Yen, we're trading well above our 720 here. We see that the rate is starting to pull back. It's pulled back past our 21. It's headed here towards our 50, which is this blue line here. And once it gets past that, then we're going to be buyers. We're going to be bullish, and we're going to be buyers, and we're going to be interested in buying at that at either the 50 or the 100 level. As far as the Euro New Zealand, we are trading well below our 720. Our moving averages are in order to the downside here. So we've got a mature trend to the downside. We're waiting on a pullback past our 50, past the 100. We did actually get it during yesterday's trading. We had a grand opportunity to place an order to short on this 100 or the 50, and both of those orders would have been positive at this point in time. So now we're just waiting on the next opportunity. As far as the Euro US goes, we are trading here just above our 720. The rate came down here and kind of testing the 720. Right now it's holding as a support. We see that the moving averages are starting to kind of cross over one another and head for the downside here, but they are still above our 720. So this is a pretty decent sized move to the downside. And so at some point, we think that this is going to exhaust itself and then maybe head off to the upside since we're above our 720. So we're interested in buying maybe here at this 50. There's the 200 and the 100 there too. You can use any one of those at this point in time. Just depends on how conservative you want to be and how far you want the rate to commit before it puts you into the trade. Here's our pound Aussie trading well below our 720 here. We've got our moving averages almost in order to the downside. Oh, well, actually they are in order here. So it looks like our 8 is below our 21 here. Our 21 is kind of hidden there by the price line here. And then our 50 is just above that. So even though they're kind of small, we're definitely in a mature trend to the downside. Now the rate did pass the 50, but it didn't get quite far enough for us to place an order here to short. So we'll be watching that. We're not going to chase it now and try to just place a market order here. We still want to obey the strategy itself and the rules of the strategy, because we don't want to put ourselves in a position where we took a trade that maybe we shouldn't have, because the strategy doesn't call for market orders. And if we place a market order, then we may get flustered or frustrated because maybe it's not profitable. And then we've kind of blown it because now we didn't follow the rules. And that's what makes us a failed trader as opposed to a successful trader. A successful trader looks at a situation like this and says, hey, we didn't get the opportunity yet. Let's not try to create it. Let's let the opportunity create itself, and then we'll get involved with the opportunity. Pound CAD, the 200 just jumped under the 720. So we're all in order to the downside here and below the 720. So it's a mature trend, but it's very young because it's just really kind of getting started. It just hit that status here today. So what we're looking for is a pullback past our 50 or past our 100, and then we're looking for some more separation in these moving averages as the rate drops. Pound Swiss, we are trading here above our 720. So it's actually quite close to the rest of the moving averages. So this is going to be a young trend that's setting up here. The 100 has just jumped a bit over the 200. There's not any separation really there yet. We want to see some separation. But as we get that and the rate goes higher, we should get a pullback to our 50 or our 100 and be able to place an order there. Here's the pound yen. We're trading well above our 720 here. In order to get in there, we're waiting on a pullback past the 50 or past the 100 in order to drop our orders there. Let's take a look at the pound US. As far as the pound US, we're trading them above our 720 here. We've got all our moving averages in order to the downside here, but they're above the 720. So we're going to be a little bit conservative here because we recognize that trend is trying, but at the same time, we do respect our 720, our long-term bill to the upside. Our 200, our 100 are sitting up here. Our 50 is sitting right. The 50, the 100, or the 200 moving average rate continues to go down and it hits that 720, crosses over and doesn't want to come back, that's fine. We just delete the order that's up here as long as it's not. New Zealand CAD's trading well above the 720 and then treated off these highs our 200. And so on the 200, 100 for a buy as well. Down testing this, so we'd have to, if we don't go over here, then this should trade off to the upside. Preferred momentum too. So I don't have a problem dropping in order 100. Far as our New Zealand Swiss, we're trading well above our 720 as well. All the moving averages are in order to the upside. The rate's above our 8 moving average, so we'll need to wait on our pullbacks here before we can enter. As far as the New Zealand yen, we are trading well above our 720. Once again, same exact analysis. We're waiting on pullbacks past our 100 and our 50 here in blue. New Zealand US, we're trading above our 720 here. All the moving averages are up there, the rate's up there. So we're bullish, but in looking at this, it's starting to consolidate a little bit to the right. So I wouldn't be surprised if it does that for a bit. Tonight is Thursday, so we're going into Friday, so we're going to see what happens there. It's a non-farm payroll Friday, so things could move. This is a New Zealand versus the dollar, so this actually could change a lot tomorrow if some impact to the dollar occurs. Now, so since we are sitting where we are now, we could actually place a buy order here on the 200 or the 100. I mean, the 50 or the 100. I'm sorry, right around this 72.57 area. We're not too far away from there. If the trade moves or the rate moves in that direction, then we'll execute the trade and then hopefully move to the upside. Dollar's been weak, so we've been at basically 2-year lows. So the expectation is that the dollar will continue to show weakness here. The US dollar CAD is trading well below our 720. We know the story on the dollar. We just talked about that, the dollar weakness. So we're looking to short the dollar. We're not really looking to go long the dollar in most scenarios, unless it's maybe like the Diamond Auto Trader, which is a bit of a contrarian trade. But everything else really is trading along with the trend, and we should actually be trading in concert with the overall trend that we see set by our moving averages. So looking at this US dollar CAD right now, we actually did pull back past the 100 here, so we would have had to place an order here pretty quickly on the 100 or the 50. I don't know if during that time the spread would have cooperated with us. Maybe it would have. To drop an order there, but we'd be slightly profitable at this point on that particular order. As far as the US dollar Swiss, this one kind of skyrocketed. It went further than I thought. It actually jumped over the 720. The rate jumped over the 720. We've got the 21 and the 8 not far behind, but the long-term moving averages are not over the 720 yet. So I'm not a buyer here just because this has gone up quite a bit. For me, this is a pullback against the overall trend. And so what will happen is it should resume the overall trend when things kind of like normalize and traders are tired of this particular move, or they get scared that we're getting too far out of the way of the actual trend. So I place an order either on this 50, 100, or the 200 moving averages, somewhere in this area, depending on how conservative you want to be and how far you want the price to move before you get into it. But I'd be shorting at those levels just to see if the rate will come back into trend. If for whatever reason it decides it wants to stay above the 720 and then the moving averages all move above the 720, we can delete these orders because we don't need them because they weren't executed. As far as the US dollar yen, we can see that scenario, what I was talking about, the moving averages kind of jumping over the 720. We see that maybe occurring. So this is a dollar, major, but it is also against the yen. So money has been fleeing the yen. We've seen that across all of the yen pairs, that they're all rising versus the yen. All the, the euro, the pound, everybody's kind of rising against the yen, the Swissy, the Canadian dollar as well. So, we can see here the 100 just barely jumped over the 720, but the 200 is still down here. So we're going to respect that. If it jumps over the 720, I'm not really, for me particularly, I'm really not going to be interested in trading that for a long trade. I just, right now with the way the dollar has been showing weakness, it's really going to have to prove to me that it's really got some strength to the upside. This is not a small move here. There's 130 some odd pips in this move, but in this real scheme of things, that's not a whole lot of movement. And so I feel like it should go back to, it should come back south at some point in time. But if you desire to, and the moving averages all jump over the 720 and you want to buy, we just apply the same principle. But right now, I don't have an order here. The only order I really have is to place a short on this 200 here, because I feel like that would be, the place to get in below the 720 and then ride it down. So we'll have to watch and see what occurs with that, see if it actually turns out that way. I have a feeling that it probably got a lot of stuff kind of happening. So geopolitically and all that type of thing is happening. So we're going to face sometimes where you get those movements back against trend, and it'll fake a lot of people out because they're looking at it going, no, it's going up, it's going up, going up. And then they've waited to get in, and they get in, pretty high, and then it turns against them and it goes back with the trend and they can't catch up and they take a big loss. So that's kind of what happens for people. So I just don't want to get caught in that. I think we can, we just look at, what the chart is giving us, but then take a little bit of grain of what direction things are going in will help us, in the long run to avoid some of those longer losing trades. I'm not going to avoid all of them, but some of them we can avoid just by, filtering them a little bit with the higher moving averages. I always skip this New Zealand Singapore dollar because my computer shuts off and it reverts to the back end of the charts. So I'll go over the New Zealand Singapore dollar just in case anybody's trading that. You can see that we're trading well above our 720 here. We've got our moving averages all in order to the upside. So we've got full mature trend here. We're kind of just flattening out across the top though. So we'll need a breakout here for this to go further up. Let's see if we get a pullback before that happens. Maybe this pullback was the one yesterday, was the one that we were going to get before we get the breakout. We'll see if we get another one. If not, then we've kind of missed it. We'll just wait on the next pullback that we find. So I hope that you're able to find some gems here that you can trade. It's Thursday night, so it's our last show for the week. So I want to wish everybody a happy weekend. If you don't, come to my daily market overview show in the morning, I do want to wish you a happy weekend. I want everybody to be safe. And if you have questions about your Forex trading, if you're stuck in a certain place or you're just not getting a certain concept, definitely talk to me. I can definitely help you with that. And then, understanding our philosophy of how we move forward as far as building an account, building profits into account and using the equity to, kind of do that. You can talk to me about that and I will definitely assist you. So once again, this is Derek with iLi Academy. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here for the week. Have a great weekend and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.